You're watching Truth versus Hype. We're outside Birsa Munda jail in Ranchi, home for the moment to Lalu Yadav, convicted in the fodder scam. The focus has largely been on the political aftershocks of the scam, deflecting attention away from the charges. Was Lalu, as the CBI claims, the focal point of a sprawling nexus of politicians, contractors and officials who siphoned off crores of rupees from an impoverished state? Or, as Lalu claims, was he simply unaware of the systematic loot that was taking place under his nose? The corruption scandal that would engulf two chief ministers and transform Bihar's politics began innocuously enough in the town of Chaibasa, 2 hours from Ranchi. Amit Khare, who was district commissioner of Chaibasa, got a call from his superiors in Patna, who were worried about the state's hemorrhaging expenses, especially its animal husbandry department.
When the figures came before me on 27 January 96 morning, I was a little surprised that in one district, for a month, the drawal was 10 crore, in another month, the drawal was 9 crores. So 19 crores in 2 months. I mean, even for a district like Chaibasa, appeared to be on the higher side. Very high. So I thought, let me first inquire from the animal husbandry officers.
The results, says Khare, were shocking.
When I inquired, to my utter surprise and shock, I was told that they have fled from the office. So I went to the office. I found that most of the bills and a whole lot of material is lying around.
They had literally run away.
They ran away.
Just on the basis of the inquiry.
On the basis of inquiry, they ran away. And
so you went to the animal husbandry department's offices in Chaibasa?
Yes. Yes.
And what did you find?
I mean, all the bills and a lot of cash lying there. The drafts which were in the name of suppliers were found in the office of the animal husbandry officer. And I immediately informed...
Khare at that time, without realizing it, had stumbled onto the modus operandi of the fodder scam. And totally, what was the amount that you found had been wrongly withdrawn in your particular case?
For this particular year is 37.7 crores.
That money was meant for ordering huge amount of feeds for non-existent cattle and poultry many more times than what existed. An order for 1.4 lakh quintals of maize feed at the cost of 15 crores, while the actual need was only 1500 quintals. An order of 1 lakh quintals of groundnut cake for 5 crores, when the actual need 746 quintal. An order of 1.3 crore pieces of plastic goblets and 51,000 bottles of lubricants, while the need was much less.
Of course, none of these medicines or fodder ever came. Officials running the cattle and poultry farms have been charged with creating false certificates to show they received these non-existent consignments. Chaibasa Treasury officials too have been charged by the CBI, who cleared these bills in spite of the amounts being unusually large.
The money from the treasury went to a network of suppliers who had emerged with offices in Ranchi, Patna, Calcutta and beyond. The CBI would find that they kept 20% of the money for themselves and gave back the balance 80% as bribes to officials.
They have denied to have conspired with anyone. They have denied to have forged any document. They have denied to have given any ill gratification to anybody.
Loopholes had appeared in the system.
Sajal Chakravarti, who was district commissioner of Chaibasa between 92 and 95, the peak of the scam, was an eyewitness to how deeply the system had been corrupted. He was himself booked for corruption but acquitted last year, one of the few officials to be let off. He admits to knowing many of the accused.
So I know a lot of people in Ranchi. I've known people socially who have later on got arraigned in this.
Okay.
I've known them well.
Right.
Okay. That doesn't mean that I knew all that they do and they would tell me.
But he claims the manner in which the structures had been designed was meant to conceal corruption.
Over the period of time, many of these checks had crumpled. And they crumpled in various different sections. And somehow it was not appreciated by a whole lot of people who are in no way connected to the scam, that what would be the cost that one day people would have to pay for this system crumbling.
The rot in the system exposed by the Chaibasa raids were a validation for those who'd been sounding the alarm bells for corruption in the animal husbandry department for almost a decade before that. But they claimed that these warnings were either suppressed or ignored by Lalu Yadav when he came to power in 1990. A great irony, since Lalu's arrival in 1990 signalled new hope for a Bihar run to the ground by a largely upper caste Congress political elite. The Yadav firebrand brought with him the radical energies of student politics and the JP movement.
पूरी तरह से एक नई उम्मीद थी। दरअसल इसके पहले आप देखेंगे तो लालू प्रसाद के सत्ता में आने के ठीक 5 वर्ष पहले के दौर में 4 चीफ मिनिस्टर कांग्रेस ने बदले। हालांकि कांग्रेस को बहुमत था, पूरी तरह अस्थिरता थी और उस जमाने में अगर बिहार में आप देखें तो लॉलेसनेस चरम पर था, एजुकेशन सिस्टम बिल्कुल खत्म हो गया था। साउथ बिहार में जो आज अलग झारखंड है, इसमें माफियाओं का राज बहुत मशहूर, पूरे देश में माफिया राज, कोल माफिया की चर्चा होती थी।